you will start by training once every 4 days on a 4-workout protocol. So, if you start on a Monday, that means you wouldn't train again till Friday. After Friday, you wouldn't train again till Tuesday, then Saturday, and so forth, once every 4 days. And if a scheduling problem arises, so that you can't make it into the gym on day 4, take off 1 more day and train on day 5. Also, once you've been with the program for 3 weeks or so, start inserting an additional rest day or 2, even at random. If you do, you should never hit a sticking point, and here's why. As you grow stronger week to week, as you will with this program, that is, as you lift progressively heavier weights, the stresses on the body grow progressively greater too, until finally, unless you do certain things like add extra rest days, the stresses will reach a critical point, they'll constitute overtraining, and the first symptom will be a slowdown in progress. And if you continue with exactly the same volume and frequency protocol, there will ultimately be a complete cessation of progress. Continue inserting the additional rest days with greater and greater regularity until you are only training once every 5 days, then start inserting an extra rest day at random, a 6th day. Continue inserting the extra rest day or days with greater regularity until you're eventually training once every 6 to 7 days. Once the fundamentals of intensity, volume, and frequency are grasped, this issue becomes the most crucial one of bodybuilding science. That, as the weights grow progressively greater, the stresses also grow progressively greater, and they must be compensated for. If after a number of months, utilizing the baseline program while training once every 6 to 7 days ceases to yield meaningful results, switch to the consolidation program. Some may want to have the workout program with the additional points in their training journal to take to the gym, rather than the accompanying booklet. If so, write down the words day 1 close to the upper left-hand corner of your paper, and then write the word chest. Next to it, the number 1. Exercise number 1 for the pecs will be pec deck for 6 to 10 reps to failure. Now, from here on, you won't have to write the words to failure, as that is a given, and 6 to 10 reps is merely a suggested guideline. There is nothing magic about the number 10. If you reach 10, but you see you might go to 13 reps to failure, don't stop at 10, go to 13. And at the other end, if you see by rep 3, you won't reach even 6 reps, but only 4 or 5, don't stop and reload. Get 4 or 5, the next time you'll likely get 6 to 10. And if you don't have access to a pec deck, then flat bench dumbbell flies or cable crosses may be substituted. Directly underneath exercise 1, write out the word superset, and directly underneath that, the number 2. Exercise number 2 for the pecs will be the incline press, preferably on a machine such as the Smith, Hammer, Icarian, or Nautilus. If you don't have any machine for the incline press, you may perform either regular free weight barbell incline presses or incline dumbbell presses. Exercise number 2 should be performed for 1 to 3 reps, not 6 to 10, 1 to 3 reps. And make a parenthetic note next to the incline press. Use a fairly close hand grip. Your hands should be slightly closer than shoulder width. What should be wide are not your hands, but your elbows. Flare your elbows way back away from your torso toward your ears, and you'll feel all the stress go into the pecs. Contrary to popular opinion, a wide grip is not the best way to develop pecs. And for beginners, a superset means 2 sets, 1 set of each of 2 different exercises, where the performance of one is followed immediately by the other, as with pec deck supersetted, or followed immediately by incline press. All right, now write down the word back, still under day 1, write down the word back, and then the number 1 itself. Exercise number 1 for the back will be close grip, palms up, pull downs, 6 to 10 repetitions. Close grip, palms up, pull downs. Directly underneath that, write down the number 2, which will be regular style, not stiff-legged, but regular deadlifts. There is no superset here, by the way. There will be no superset unless I specify. And where there is no superset, you may rest as long as necessary, but no longer. Don't overcomplicate this issue. Use your common sense. Let your breathing slow down, and as soon as you feel ready to resume training, do so. Do not allow the workout to degenerate into a race against the clock, and don't malinger either. The regular style deadlift is a very productive exercise, the most productive exercise of all, in fact, because it stimulates so much muscle mass, everything on the backside of the body, from the Achilles tendon to the nape of the neck. However, there is a bit of a risk factor here, not seen with most other exercises, so listen carefully. If you have one available and you are strong enough, use an Olympic bar with a 45-pound plate on each end of the bar, so you don't have to bend over quite so far. Always start with the bar rolled back flush against your shins. Grasp the bar with a slightly wider than shoulder width grip, and use an interlocking hand grip, where one hand is overhand, the other hand is underhand. Squat down in such a fashion that your hips are at least slightly lower than your shoulders. And most important of all, keep your back perfectly flat and your head up. Keep your back perfectly flat and your head up. You might even pick out a point on the wall, that crevice where the wall meets the ceiling, and keep your attention trained on that unwaveringly throughout. Then stand up in a deadlift fashion with considerable rotation around the hips until you're standing perfectly straight, no need to arch backwards. Then put the bar back down, reset, and do another. Perform 5 to 8 reps as close to failure as you're willing to go. If you have problems with your lower back, shrugs may be substituted, and do 6 to 10 reps to failure. That's all on day 1. Just 4 total sets. Then 96 hours or 4 days later is day 2.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and the information provided, please check out more of my videos and subscribe to my channel.